Well, hello, my friends. I'm Beth English, and I'm here with Sergio Gomez. And today we're going to talk about why procrastination is a good thing.
I don't
I
know,
know
but
that might surprise you.
why don't we talk about that one next time?
Yeah, it can wait, right? Okay, we had to get all of our little jokes out of the way in the beginning. But the reason why I've been thinking about procrastination because I was speaking for Creative Mornings Nashville and procrastination was the topic last week and I thought I've been thinking a lot about procrastination and why it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's a word that makes us feel bad. And so I wanted to kind of dig into that a little bit. Don't you think procrastination is a word that has like a negative connotation to it?
Oh, yeah, I think since I remember that word, always has like this baggage of like, if it's somebody that calls you a procrastinator, like that's the worst thing. Or if you call yourself procrastinator in some way, that's the worst thing that that you can be. Uh, so yeah, totally. Particularly when it pertains to productivity.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit and kind of dissect procrastination and the way that we frame it and why it can be good and why we perceive it as bad. So the way I think about procrastination is that it's actually your intuition speaking to you. It's asking you because you don't feel like it. Your body is telling you don't feel like it. And so it's asking you to put it off for some time. So in essence, we're delaying a response. I think that's like a keyword that I read online, the delaying the response, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, right?
Mhm.
Because when we're in the creative process, sometimes part of that process is incubation. And that means stepping back, stepping away, allowing our mind to go in and do some subconscious thinking. And then we're able in that time period to make new connections and those aha moments happen. And so I would like to argue that procrastination is good because it gives us that space to allow for that incubation to occur and for new connections to be made.
Mm.
What do you
Yeah,
think about that?
that's a very interesting way to think about it. So you're thinking about it in how we frame it ourselves within, right here, right? How do we
Mhm.
perceive it and how we act upon it? Yeah, I
Right.
can,
But
I can wait to hear it. Mhm.
okay, so then if we attach judgment to procrastination,
Mm.
then that's when it starts to become bad. And the reason why is because when we anchor something that we need to do in the future, then
Mhm.
that sometimes will create anxiety. And so when we're doing that, it means that we're not in the present. So I would like to argue that procrastinating is actually a door for us to step into the present moment and be more aware of what it is that we're doing, what is it that we need in that moment. Now, there's two terms for procrastination: active procrastination and passive procrastination. Active means that you may be intentionally doing some incubating. You may go for a walk, you may step away. You're using that time wisely, even though you're not doing the work that you should be doing. Now, passive procrastination is when you just are lazy and you don't do anything at all and you're just letting the time pass by. And partly what I think is interesting about that is that it's not that we're procrastinating in that moment, it's that we are not loving ourselves to believe that we can do the things that we want to do. So it's really information that's wanting us to dig deeper about how it is that we feel about fear. How is it that we feel about failure? And so I don't think that's necessarily procrastinating. I think that you can go in that direction if you start to attach judgment and shame and guilt to your procrastinating time. And that's why we essentially think of it as a really bad thing.
Mhm. Yeah, that's very interesting. And when I think about those things, it's like, it's a choice, right? And it's a choice in
Mm-hmm.
both scenarios, right? When I choose to like take a break during usually I'm doing now that the weather is nice and midday, I'm like, okay, I need to go outside. And so I'm not going to check email. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to take a walk, take my dog for a quick run. And so it's a conscious choice of, okay, I'm going to postpone everything that might come because this is not the right moment. But it's also a
Right.
choice when I say, well, I gotta, uh, connect with Beth so we can do a show, and I don't do it because I'm watching Netflix. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it. So I can see both as the choice that one makes, but the totally different perception in our minds.
Yeah. So it's interesting to think about that. And I think when we start to dig in, we start to get into the real issue of why maybe we're delaying things.
Yeah.
And I think a healthy way of delaying the tasks that need to be done as far as being productive is having that awareness of knowing why. And so, and if the reason why is because you are afraid of messing up or stepping out and trying something new, well, then you need to dig into that. And that's not necessarily procrastinating. That's something much deeper that just plays out in that time period. So that's why I think it's a really good thing if we procrastinate, because either way, we're going to learn if
Right.
we're doing it actively or if we're doing it passively, and why.
Right. No, I love that. And over the years, like I consider myself a person who selective procrastinator. As you might think, there are things that I hate doing. Of course, I think like all of us, we have things that, and with those are especially the things that we tend to put away. Like there's some things on my board that it literally can take me 10 minutes to get them done, but I see like, tomorrow. Tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's been there for a week. The thing I'm thinking about, right? And
Mm-hmm.
but and it's just that mentally I'm trying to avoid something that I know it brings no pleasure, or brings no
Mm,
sense of accomplishment. When you're done, it's done, but so what, right?
right.
So I think yeah, literally what you're talking about makes total sense.
And I think that it's also because it's intuitive. Our body is sensing that we either want to do something or we don't want to do something, that it is a signal to respond, that it can tell us when we are ready to then take action. And sometimes that is at the last minute. But I have to tell you, so many times I have felt that resistance
Mhm.
and not listened, and then and not done as well, versus felt that resistance to do the work, step away, make a phone call, connect with a friend, and then all of a sudden new connections are being made and my perspective has been shifted in a way that is going to allow me to take action with a lot less resistance. And so I think that it essentially is a practice in trusting ourselves as well. When we sense that procrastination feeling coming on, we can trust ourselves to know that it's for a reason. Maybe somewhere down the road that day or that week that we aren't taking action on things, something else is going to happen in between that's going to then change the direction of our course. So I think it's really interesting if we can just tune in to where we are in the present moment, what needs to be done, and delay things in the future that makes sense for
Mhm.
us to delay, and trust ourselves in that process. We're going to be a lot less hard on ourselves, judging ourselves, because those things to me are a lot worse when we're
Right.
judging ourselves or we're shaming ourselves or guilting ourselves into doing the things that, because that just means you're not excited about what you're doing. So why are you doing it in the first place? So I think that procrastinating can open up so much of your the reason why you do the things that you do. And I think that's an important thing to learn when you're out there sharing your work or talking about your mission or your why reason.
Right.
We want to excite people with the things that we do as artists, the things that we create. And if we're not excited about it, then no one else is going to
Right.
be excited about it. So I think it's a really interesting take on procrastination.
I love that, and I can think of, for example, even in my studio practice, there are things that I have left for later purposely, and the end result was much more better than if I had done them earlier, because I knew, more information. I had more to share, more to put into the work than if I had do it too early, and and sometimes it's hard to tell, right? Because it could also work the other way around, but kind of
Mm-hmm.
like kind of listening to ourselves, self-awareness and intuition to see what feels right, given what I know right now. Is it something I need to do now, or is it okay to procrastinate and put it for later? Because I have done really, really good pieces that have coming out of last minute,
Mm-hmm.
kind of impetus of going in the studio and like, I got to do it, and now I boom, 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 I work super hard, and the result, like, I'm exhausted, but it's like, wow, I'm glad that I save all this energy and all this emotion for this right moment.
Yes, I think you just nailed it right there. You're saving your energy for when it's time for it to come out and for its time to be expressed from within us. And sometimes we don't have enough to let that out yet. And so it does take that time, and to just trust the process and know that you are, just because you are procrastinating, if that's the word we want to use, like, because remember now it's a good word. It's okay to procrastinate, that you're doing it with purpose. And so I think that's just two different ways that we can look at it. So
super. Permission. You're giving us today permission to procrastinate.
yes, I am. And you can give yourself permission to procrastinate whenever you need to. Just listen to your body and give it what it's asking for. And, oftentimes it's important that we rest, because in our society, we tend to try to overdo everything, because that's where a lot of us get our self-worth, from the amount of work that we accomplish, when really it's not tied to our identity. It's more about, like, are we enjoying the process of life? And if that means slowing down and taking a step back so that we can give more to what it is that we truly love and want to express to the world, then it was most meaningful time spent. So.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I love it. Thank you so much for that, Beth. I think it's a good one.
Well, I hope you guys are pondering over this and thinking about your own daily habits and lifestyle. And if you have some comments about how you procrastinate, I would love to see them in the comments and in the DMs. Just let us know what it is that you think about it, because I know we all have different perspectives. And so I'd love to hear your thoughts. So, and Sergio, why don't you tell me right now where people can find you?
All right. Well, right now, not tomorrow. I'll text it to you later. You guys can find me anywhere at Sergio Gomez Art. So on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere else. How about you, Beth?
You guys can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Beth English. And don't procrastinate connecting with us, because that's something that I think we'll all get excited about. So make sure you leave a comment, leave us a message, let us know how you're enjoying the videos, and always share with your friends, because nothing makes us happier than connecting with artists around the world.
That's right. And that's super excited about that. Super.
And we'll see you all again next week for another great video.
Bye, Beth. Bye, everybody.
Bye.